if you have a legal copy of White Christmas, having a copy on that hard drive is, in fact, well, it's supposed to be illegal, but I don't think it's actually been tested in court. And again, this is what we want to get into. So the RIAA...
But hold on. What about time shifting? Because time shifting because White Christmas was on the day before and recorded off it. And what, can't you time shift off your visa? I mean...
All right, let's jump ahead a little bit.
Okay, give me a jump ahead.
There's a difference in Canada, or between Canada and the United States in our copyright laws. There's actually several different major differences. But the major difference is the difference between fair use and fair dealing. Now, I am not a lawyer, okay? But if you look up those two key phrases, fair use and fair dealing, look them up on Wikipedia, look them up in relation to copyright, you will get a definition. The major difference is that fair dealing is a list of things you are allowed to do. It's an exhaustive list. If what you do is not on that list, it's illegal.
Okay.
Fair use is a gray area. It's not an exhaustive list. You are allowed to do something unless somebody sues you and wins in court.
Okay. My understanding...
That's the broadest thing.
My understanding was that if we take White Christmas off the internet because, or off the television because it's broadcast the night before, and you watch it at a different time, that's fair use, and you can do that. That's my understanding. As long as you're...
We're in Canada.
But I thought that was true in Canada.
We don't have fair use.
Well, what about every single person out there that's got one of these boxes from Shaw that lets you time shift your deal?
What has happened is that effectively in Canada, because so many people do it, and because the government has not prosecuted anybody, that particular exception is now part of Canadian accepted law.
Well, that's what I thought. I mean,
but that's not fair use.
I can't advertise in the North Shore News, come on over to my house and see something.
Correct.
But if I'm doing it for my own personal use, my family deal.
Time shifting is one of the things that is an exception in Canada to the copyright law.
Okay,
so we're not illegal. It's not actually in the copyright law, but it has passed into the common law because nobody's been prosecuted, and they would. The accepted theory is that the Supreme Court would strike it down because it's irrational in BC or in Canada.
So what? Just you keep your thought for a second. What if I am? I've got a cabin at Seashelt, and they show the show tonight, and I record it, and I take the recording to the cabin at Seashelt to show to my kids and so on, because that's where we are on the weekend. That's time shifting.
Well, that's actually place shifting too, and that's a different one.
Yeah, that becomes another.
That's a different problem. The things that are allowed in Canada are commentary for news. So you can abstract something like a piece of video and make a comment on it.
Absolutely understand that.
Private study. So you can look at something and make a copy for your own study.
Yeah.
All right? And that's a loose one, but it's oriented towards education.
This is sort of like the Japanese killing 845 wheels off Antarctica for research.
For research, yes.
Research, yes. Okay.
That's private research, or public research.
Yeah.
For use in libraries and for use in education. Those are the basic four. There's another one in there someplace, but those are, and that's an exhaustive list. If you're not on that list, and time shifting is not on that list, okay?
But
now for music there is one other thing, and that is private copying onto media that has a blank media levy, which at this point basically is CDs and floppy disks.
Just about everything, yeah, okay.
Well, no, it's not on DVDs.
Not on DVDs?
No. And it's not on the hard disk in your iPod either.
Well, I don't have
But,
an iPod,
but
so it's
the,
okay.
the Canadian Private Copying Consortium tried to get it put on there, and they're still trying to get it put on to hard disks. And they want it levied by the size of the hard disk at $10 a gig.
That would be $1,000.
That's
that would be-
$1,000 for that. Sorry, that's $10,000
Yeah,
for
that's
that
not-
drive.
that ain't gonna happen.
Ain't going to happen, is it?
No,
No.
it's not going to happen. That's just plain silly.
And especially, hey,
But I remember
that's
when
never seen a piece of music in its life.
I remember when it came on and you flew off to Ottawa because you were so pissed off because
Oh.
Walmart was raising the prices on all their floppies and stuff. It was just
Oh.
ridiculous. So that we could cover the cost of somebody